Well, here we are again. It's time for another Planet Coaster 2 update, and this one is massive. As always, thank you Frontier for giving me some footage to use on this one. Okay, first, let's talk about this. So I can't yet tell you what this is all about, that's for next week, but I can tell you that it is linked to the recording session that I did when I was at the studio, and I cannot wait for you to hear what they actually did with the recordings. And while I've got the opportunity to narcissistically remind you that I went to the offices in September to meet the devs and to blindly ask for things like a spoilt child at Christmas, let's talk about the update, what we saw, and the things that we asked for that have made it into the update, which, by the way, feels really weird that I can now talk about it. Firstly, concrete. I just flippantly asked Rich if we could just have it back because it was the one texture that I use a lot and I've seen you guys comment that you were missing it. Well, it is back in Update 8. The rough concrete texture from Planet Coaster 1 is making an official return. You're welcome. Next up is something that Sylv and Rudy both immediately asked for when they saw the original model, and it is also coming. The Junior Coaster from the Sorcery Pack is going to have a boomerang element added, so I'm not sure if it's a different model or if it's an adaptation to the existing one, and you will also need to own the Sorcery Pack to get it. But either way, Adam and Rich listened. It was also asked by Digital Dan, I think, whether we could have more track variations for existing coasters so that we compare that with the train swapping feature to create all sorts of new combinations. Well, that's coming alongside launch track pieces for hybrids, plus chain lifts and holding brakes for the raid coaster. There were also other things that Rich and Adam had agreed to that don't seem to appear here, so I assume I'm still under NDA for these things. But lads, if you are watching, thank you for listening. Okay, let's get into the really cool stuff for this update. First up, we have got weather. My god, we now have weather. And not only do we have weather, it's meaningful weather. We've got snow that's going to affect guest moods, which rides they're going to go on, and it's going to freeze over pools. But we've also got thunderstorms that will affect the rides, which may need to close. Plus, it makes everything go dark, and there are some incredible lightning animations. Plus, weather has been made more realistic to the year. We will now need to manage heat, shade and sunscreen better. The types of shops that guests will visit will be based on temperature, and will also run for cover when it's rainy, snowy or stormy. We thought this was an ambitious change when we were told about it, but it looks like they've really pulled it off. I'm not sure if it means that it's no longer going to be sunny when it rains, though. Let's find out, shall we? Next up, there are some really cool changes coming to the park management side of the game. There are a number of existing heat map updates, as well as some new ones, which is going to help us manage things like temperature, shade, sunburn, and dryness. There have also been complete reworking of how the prestige system works and interacts with the ride pricing. Guests will no longer complain in queues, but they will now complain about long queues. And there's also been a general rebalance of maintenance costs, wear and tear, and scenery scores. Something that was in the original release but was removed temporarily and nobody noticed is back again. The ability to rescale animatronics. It was removed because of the quick turnaround needed when adding the original Planet Coaster themes back into the game, meaning that there was no consistency with which animatronics could and couldn't be scaled. Well, that's now solved and all animatronics will be able to be scaled again. There is a cute new physics-based springy platform. Boing! And if all of that wasn't enough, we have one more returning theme from Planet Coaster 1, the Festive theme. Christmas has landed in your parks again, and we see the return of gingerbread pieces, fairy lights, candy canes, and Christmas trees. And there we have it. This is half of what we saw in the office in September. The other half is coming next week, and trust me, you are not going to want to miss it. Thank you, Frontier, for supplying me with early access and the footage, and thank you, as always, for coming along for the ride. See you in a bit, you reprobates.